Hello. So after we go into the browser and create our blank project, it'll open, look like this. Um, so immediately I want to go into Edit at the top in the toolbar. Go to Editor Preferences, Asset Editor Open Location. You want that to be main window. You can go to Active Theme. You can click Duplicate this theme and edit it. You can change your theme. I have some themes. I'm going to use some themes. I'll go with go with uh, this green one that I've got. You can make that, and it gets kind of hard some points just when you go into you don't know which colors to change, right? So I kind of just messed around with it for a while until I could see everything. I could see it all. Nothing looks out of place. I just need to be able to see everything because sometimes it'll wash out like the text with the background of the button. So stuff like that. Okay, so we got that to main window. If you go to edit, you go to plugins. You can go to you can find all the plugins. There's plugins they add in that are necessary for the engine to run. You can't simply unclick everything, I think, unless you want to do something that I haven't done. So I personally can't afford to unclick all these. I kind of just leave the standard in place. And the ones that I pay for in the installed section, the electronic nodes is a good one for organization. If you want to buy electronic nodes, not a bad choice. I'll demo that here a little bit. I don't usually use it, but I'll use it. And then you restart. That's how you sort of. And to get that far, you go into the launcher. You go to your vault. You go to plugins, electronic nodes, installed engine. You would install the 5.1. Then up here, you have installed plugins, electronic nodes. Then in the engine, you go to edit, plugins. It's installed. They got them up here. Editor, electronic nodes, and it helps you organize your graph a little bit. So you go to it's about $12. You don't have to use it at all, but for the ease, you can also go to edit. I think it's actually window. Sorry, you can go and save a layout, and you can create a layout by going to window. Say you want two content browsers. This right here is your content browser. This right here. I can this folder content. Maybe it's going. Um, this is the content browser. We can right click, add a new folder, and call it one underscore player underscore character. That's sort of the player character folder that's in the content browser. I have my output log, my message log. I have a world outliner here in the bottom left. On the right, I have my details panel and the world settings. On the top, I have a place actors panel. Top left, I have a place actors panel. In the center, I have a viewport. So you can add, for example, if you want, let's do something obvious. Here's a viewport 3. Here's another viewport. You want that to be here. So that I can look, say for example, out here, and I can look, for example, out down at the ground across the way there. From that's sort of over there. I'm looking this way at the sun, and you can go to window and you can save the layout. Save the layout as you just name it. Uh, uh, Add a description if you want, and then when you load up You can load it. I have default editor layout. I have these are the default ones, default and UE4 Classic. I have two that I made myself. Import them. You can save them. If you can remove them. I think it's just probably deleting them. Full screen. I don't use full screen. I like to be able to access, but you can use full screen. Go to Window, enable full screen, enable, disable full screen. So these are the things. If you ever can't find something that you need to access, like the place actors panel, go to the window, and you can add it again. I want to get rid of the viewport, the second viewport. I like it like this. This is my I think this is my content browser one screen layout. So this is a good layout. I've used this one. Details, world settings, content browser output log, message log. That's kind of getting so then what else? This is building all the levels. This is building the lighting, the geometry, the levels of detail, and the nanite sort of newer than nanite and 5. Here is how you we're going to be using new editor Pi. Play this level in a new window. So whenever we click the start button, it pops out into a new window. And we can kind of look around like that. You can press escape to get out of that. On platforms, go to Windows. You can package a project there, content. You can set up for shipping, development. You can content package it. So yeah. And then let's see. Okay, that's kind of looking around the editor. You can, if you ever need to restart the editor, you can go to recent projects and just click your project name again. It'll sort of restart your project. You don't need to close it and then open it again. You just go to File, Recent Projects, click your project name, or any of your other projects, and it'll open your other projects. It's pretty cool. You can zip the project, open a project, export your map, import things. New level up here. There's save current level as save all. There's a save all button here. You can import things in your engine like this. So if I go to my desktop and I go to models, I have this shotgun for example. I can import that, import mesh. It's sort of, I like the force front x-axis. That's sort of standard. Skeleton, I don't need a skeleton for it. It's a gun. So I can just click import. And over in the content browser here is sort of a skeletal mesh, a physics asset, a skeleton, and a material. Here's the gun. Let me go up. It's kind of cool. You can find that on the marketplace. So I don't want these. Actually, I just want to show you that. I want to delete these. And when I delete those, I can go to content. I can fix up redirectors. That's to delete the cookies in your folder structure. You can click add things that way. You can right click in the content browser, add things that way. We're going to be using a lot of blueprint class. Add a blueprint class, we can add a character. You can go to the character folder, right click, add a character, we'll do that in the next video. The directional light, we're making our own map. So don't worry about using this, this big map. We'll make all this ourselves and everything. When you have something selected, so you can directional light color, sort of make it a green color. Kind of cool. It's an easy way to do some post processing, some effects. Sort of, I don't know if it's considered post processing exactly. It's sort of inline processing, but you can make it brighter, you know. So the directional light, just that alone, and you can add that up here in the place actors panel. There's lights, directional light. You can have one of those in a map, I'm pretty sure. So we can get into that in the next video. Here's the landscape tool. It's preparing shaders right now. If you click something, oh, I see. I'm actually already. I'm making those bumps down there on the center of the map. I activated the landscape mode, and I'm making small hills. You can go into go into yeah, okay. So in the default, when you click landscape, this menu comes up. Um, you can go to selection, click this, press F. So when you select something, press F. It'll zoom in on it. If you're not going fast enough, on the top right, there's camera speed. You can push it up. You can increase it. This is 6. At 4, we were going too slow. If you wanted to say, well, this is a landscaped area, I think. So they don't really, I don't know. Anyway, so here's landscape. You can do different things with it. You can mess with that. Tutorial doesn't really do a lot of landscaping, to be honest with you. I don't necessarily. It's good to kind of know how it works and to know how to generally do it. So but here's flatten. You can use that. It's flat, flat, increase, and then I guess maybe noise. Yeah, there's some noise. Sort of give it some character. Um, that's sort of just like a hill, like in any video game, you know. This isn't necessarily a good one. I wouldn't prefer to have my player kind of come down into a crevasse, into a crevice like this, and then kind of come up to be revealed enemies, and then have such a sharp cliff come off here. I don't think I would prefer to have this cliff in my video game, or maybe in a simulation. It's not even realistic. Uh, so erosion, but you can kind of erode it, right? And then it's sort of kind of like it's um not so bad. This wouldn't seem so bad to me if you kind of use all the tools together. It looks like kind of the top of a tooth almost, um, with a big old cavity in it. So that's not what I want my players to envision or think about. So I don't like this hill, right? So I don't want it. So I go to erase and I erase it. I don't like it. Um, there's also foliage. If you get some foliage off the marketplace, you can um you can go to fill, drop the mesh here from your content browser. You can import the foliage, or you can add it. We'll be adding stuff into the game from the Epic Games launcher. Um, so like add a model of a tree, and then you can drag it into this where it says plus drop foliage here, and then you can click in the world, and it'll adjust it based. Once you have a model in here, you can adjust the density of it and stuff like that. Here's single, you can just put one in there. That's a useful tool. Aside from that, you can look through all these. It's really the landscape and the foliage that I personally use to make video games. And that's kind of what I wanted to show you there. And I like learning the engine. I've made a couple of video games. I'm not wealthy, from this. I'm not wealthy from this, so I don't. But I like to do it in my free time. I've been doing it for 7 to 8 years now, and I've been developing for plus 1 years. However long I've been doing Unreal Engine. I developed in C++ before that for a year. Then I found Unreal Engine and turned to blueprints pretty much. This is kind of like just a plane here. Like a rock. You can't. It's kind of hard to separate out how you want to color it, as far as I know. Usually, you have to. This is something you'd kind of make a bumpy terrain and then put foliage over. It's kind of cool. It's pretty important. I'm not the best at it. I'm gonna show you that. So anyway, so that's kind of the lesson plan for going forward a little bit. We're going to create a player character, obviously. We're going to look at adding different meshes. Meshes like when they take a shape and divide it, and then sort of a divided shape, and they sort of move it around and make it look like something. That's a mesh. They mesh it. They're meshing the shape. So we call them meshes. And like I said, you can build all levels. I don't want to build this level because it's very large. So in the next video, alright, so we're also going to create our own map. Create our own character here. It's sort of just first step. We've looked at all that. Creating our own layouts. I want to go back to my layout. Content browser, one screen. Oops. And you grab the tab here. It looks like this isn't my save default. So I want to save this. Save layout as version 2. Excuse me. Version 2. That's sort of saved there. Here's where it's saved. So you can import that if you restart your computer or something. They're in Unreal Engine 5.1. It's through app data. So your user app data local, Unreal Engine 5.1, saved, config, layouts, Windows users, your name, app data, the local, Epic Games. I already lost it, so hard to keep track of. Anyway, you can. That's kind of hard to keep track. I don't usually go looking for those. I would just make them again. But if you delete your engine version, they will stay on your computer. If I click X on this and delete this, and upload another engine version, they won't go with this instance of the engine version. If you delete all your computer's files, they clearly won't be on your computer anymore. They don't go to a cloud or anything. They just kind of bury them into your computer. So that's something else. If you need to get to your files, let's go into a file explorer. This is sort of the rough and ugly of the tutorial. Here's program files. It's in Windows C. This is a Windows tutorial. I'm sure you know how to get around a Mac computer if you're taking this anyway. Program files. Here's Epic Games, my engine version, engine, plugins. Here's the plugins. Here's Marketplace. These are your Marketplace plugins. That could be useful to know. Here's the electronic nodes we were talking about. Um, Here, if we go back in there, here's the vault cache. Here's all the stuff that I have in that view. That's good to know. Here's the Anim Starter Pack. We'll be using the Anim Starter Pack. That's free from Epic Games. It's been around since UE4, Unreal Engine 4. Free animations, free mannequin, stuff like that. And if you go to Windows C x86, Epic Games, launcher, engine, plugins, there's binary, Win64. You can, I think, launch the launcher executable from here. Epic Games launcher executable. Okay, so that was just some about sort of the file structure, some about the how to sort of the works in the engine. Um, Thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll get started on some more specific stuff like adding some blueprints, coding, maybe some general stuff. We've got through the rough and ugly of sort of how to navigate the engine. So thanks for paying attention.